Oh, I see we've got Sarita here. Hello, Sarita.
Yes, morning. Hi, Sarita. Good to know you're here.
Hello. Can you
Hi,
hear me okay?
Sarita.
Hi.
Sundara. Dham.
And Hang, have you been swimming, Hang? Yes, hello, good morning, Sarah.
Morning, how?
You had your swim? It's raining every day here, so I cannot swim now because it's just after typhoon, so the water is quite not clear.
Oh, okay.
Sawadika, Jan.
Sawadika.
Everybody.
Sorry, Cup. John.
Ka, does anybody have something they wish to start with? A topic or a question?
Lucas, did you want to bring up anything more about the Vitakka Santana Sutta?
Yes, I may try. The thing is, I maybe not Vitakka, but what I was thinking recently is that I was listening to discussion on the 2008 old one, and there was one guy who said something like, people who are mindful and the people who develop right understanding, and he said something like, this is the same kind of craving, you know, because one people wants to be mindful and the other people wants to be understanding people, you know. So that's my question to Sadhana, you know. If there is, it's maybe if this is bad to want to understand, that's the question.
Firstly, and so many moments arising and falling away unknowingly. And what is there? Not at all, even right now. Just a moment ago is gone. So is that the true, the reality which arises and falls away, or it's I at birth and death? So is it true? I see, I hear, I've born, I die. Oh, there are different realities in life, unknown as just a reality at a time when it's there. For example, right now, what would you like to do? What would you like to have? Some understanding?
Yeah, understanding, Tanajan, understanding, but well, actually, I would like to have awareness too, you know, and with that understanding.
Yes, you understand. I understand. But the truth, what is it? Where's the I in truth? Seeing is there by conditions. It sees and then it's gone. So where is the I? Take whatever is there as I or mine all the time in life,
Yeah,
but in truth, not there anymore. As soon as it doesn't appear, it's not there anymore. In samsara, never to arise again. Just understand the truth. One doesn't have to do anything at all. Just understand what is true. Is that better than just live without any understanding of this moment as it is? Like is like, dislike is dislike, seeing is seeing. It's there all the time. Is it right? Just have such understanding between right and wrong. That's enough. No more to do. Just understanding of the truth. When it's true, okay, it's true. And then can it be remembered as it's so? true because it's just there for a moment and then gone. Just having more understanding, that's all. It doesn't hurt, but it understands more of what is there in life. The truth is the truth. Have right understanding instead of wrong understanding. And ignorance, just keep on dreaming, thinking, wishing to have such and such. What about the understanding of that moment? Do you
But then
want to
Ajahn,
have it?
I would say there is no right understanding because, nothing lasts, even though if there is seeing, it's gone already. So how to understand something this is long gone, this is my doubt too,
Because you see that we think a lot, but consider right now. What is there now? Something or nothing? Or what is the truth of that which is there? Just understand the moment as it is. So this moment of seeing, understanding, cannot understand other thing else because it's there only seeing. So understanding is about seeing when seeing is there. Otherwise, it's no understanding, ignorant, clinging, wanting, craving, just dreaming. But what is the truth of just a moment now as it is? Seeing is there. There can be right understanding of seeing and wrong understanding of seeing, and no understanding of seeing at all. No understanding, wrong understanding, and right understanding. Is there in life? Is it just whenever what appears, no understanding, wrong understanding, or right understanding of that which is there in life, in a moment, only one moment at a time, on and on and on and on and on. And what about the truth? That's all. If one would like to do something, it's the reality which arises and clings unknowingly for such and such other moment, other reality. But what about now? Have you made it right? Impossible. So how come there must be conditions for even seeing to arise? Without the eye base, can there be seeing? Even there is eye base, when nothing impinges on it, can there be seeing? Just in a moment, the truth of what is there is so much to be known that actually what is there is just so very short, beyond expectation. So what appears now as seeing right now, not just one single moment of seeing. There must be many, many moments of seeing. Why? Because there is hearing in between, but seeing is still there. So how many moments of seeing seems like keep on seeing all the time? Just understand that. See, only understanding works. To have more understanding, do not think of letting go. Ignorance or attachment or all kinds of akusla is impossible because ignorance cannot understand the truth of it. So how can it let go? That which no understanding at all, just live, just live. So no matter in what situation, what is the best is understanding what is there as it is. No one can work for you to understand that because it has to be moments of the hearing and considering about what is true and what is not, and what is better, what is the best, understanding the truth. It can cure any situation, less sorrow and less clinging and so on, not being hurt unknowingly all the time by wishing and wanting something to be changed, to be better and so on, all by conditions. And the best of all is the understanding of the truth, because it's so true now. Seeing sees, no understanding of seeing. Hearing hears, no understanding of hearing. Wishing is there, no understanding of wishing as it is. So live in the world with ignorance from life to life, eons and eons ago. But when it's time to hear the truth, it depends on the accumulation, the tender interest to understand the truth, or no interest at all. It doesn't matter, just live, that's all. No one can do anything at all. No one can change the other's mind. All depends on the accumulation of this very moment, from moment to moment, even thinking and considering. No one there at all. That's why people are different by many, many conditions in the past and also present now. Just understand the truth, that's all. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tanajan, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you well. Yeah, thank you for your answer. Yeah, well, that's clear out a bit, you know. Yeah, I wonder also about the being non-forgetful in life, because usually I'm doing something on computer or listen to music, then I forget Dhamma, you know.
Can one think by oneself about this moment, or hearing the truth of what is there word by word? It's there, it's there, it's rare, it's real, it's a reality. But whenever it arises and falls away, it's not known. And the truth is that if it doesn't arise at all, how can it be there? And as it does not stay there all the time, at moment of hearing, there's no seeing anymore. It's not there anytime. It's gone forever, never to arise again. Shall there be clinging to that which is not there anymore? But understanding is not strong enough because the moment of arising and falling away as nimitta does not appear yet. So how can it let go? The clinging to that as something or I. It's just the fire. It's far away. It's not hot because it's not here now. But there is the fire. But when it's there now, what about the heat? So strong enough that anyone doesn't like it to be there anymore. So the arising and falling away of realities right now, it's not clearly known by realization, the moment when it's there and the moment when it's gone. So even one thinks about it as it's not permanent, it's not there anymore, but there is clinging to seeing right now because clinging does not appear as it is. But understanding the truth little by little, there can be the understanding of one characteristic of a reality at a time. For example, right now, there's seeing and then is seen unknown as it is. But it appears as something is seen and I see it. But the truth is that what is there is not as it is or as not it appears. Because how come? Just open one's eyes, everything is there. But as soon as one closes the eyes, nothing at all. How come? All of that which appeared gone, never show up at all. It's not seen anymore. But as soon as one opens one's eye again, it's there everything. Each one has to impinge on the eyebest to be seen. And there are many, many hidden functions of Dhamma or the reality which conditions such and such on and on and on to be the idea of I think and I see. So very quickly right now, as soon as one opens one's eye, no one except I. It has to be I who wake up, who see, who think, who live, who like all the time. And then gone forever. Never be this personality at all. But the new one instantly arises after death, like now. Whatever appears on and on is a moment of the arising and falling away. So the moment of this is gone and the moment of next life begins. That's the way it is. No one can stop because actually they are all absolute truth. They are there by conditions. As long as there are conditions for whatever arises, it arises. And this is this moment and previous moment, past moment, present moment, and then the future has come to be now. And what is next? Unknown. But they are there all the time from moment to moment, non-stop. Dreaming about what is there as something, but in truth, nothing is there anymore. So better to understand that's all. The truth is the truth. No matter it's pleasant feeling, it's unpleasant feeling. Each one is different by conditions and then gone. This is the way to understand just one reality at a time. Otherwise, they are there together, all together, a lump of the complex of whatever is there. So many things unknown until one reality is known, but it depends on understanding. For example, there is feeling now, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant or painful feeling, bodily painful feeling. Everyone knows the moment when it's there, but no understanding of the truth of that at all. It is taken for I or mine and playing around all the time. The dream world of that which is nothing, and then something, and then nothing again. Keep on rolling on so very rapidly, not clear what is there at all, because it's gone so very quickly. That's why we are talking about seeing and that which is seen. And in truth, the many moments of seeing, just only that which can be seen, not a glass, not a paper, not a pencil, nothing at all. And just consider whether it's true or not. When it's understanding, it understands the truth of what is there as it is. When there's no understanding, it's taken for something, someone, all the time in life, and life, and life, and life, on and on and on, endlessly. When there's no understanding of the truth, there are conditions for whatever to arise again and again and again. Because of ignorance and clinging, which is quite different from understanding the truth, which appears but no understanding. Just take it all the time, dreaming about it with ignorance. Is it true? Only that. It doesn't matter what will be the next moment because it's there by condition. And right understanding begin to develop to understand whatever is there little by little until it can be aware because there is the understanding of that object as just that which can be known. It can be known because it's there. So there can be moment of considering the truth of it, which is different ones all the time. For example, right now, while we are talking and hearing and doing something, there is a reality which marks and remembers the nimitta, the appearance, the sign of that which is there as something unknown. But the feeling is that I remember, see, but actually remembrance or memory is a reality which marks and remember whatever is there by conditions and gone together with the moment of experiencing that object. Who knows? Just learn about to understand what is there. We take for something alive as it's just a moment of what is there as a reality conditioned to arise and then fall away instantly. And that can be understood little by little, stage by stage, with direct awareness until it is directly understand what is there little by little. So little in the beginning, because the truth is the arising and falling away of that very moment, that very object, as nimitta, the sign, just the sign of that object. Even hardness, the sign of hardness. At moment of touching, there is seeing and there's hearing. So how little it is in a moment, not as it appears as hard or hardness there. And this is true or not, just understanding the truth. And then the understanding works its way on and on, unknowingly, no one there at all. Learn to understand what is there in a moment that ignorance cannot understand. And attachment is attached to that object instantly because of not understanding that it's not there anymore. It's gone. Nothing is permanent at all. That's why learning about the truth of what Buddha has enlightened and showed us that what is there now, to understand more and more. And that is the only way to let go ignorance and attachment. Some people say that I don't want to have attachment at all. But it's there by conditions, no I. And it can be known little by little, as it says, not permanent, because it's not permanent now, but it's covered up because of the rapidity of the arising and falling away all the time, so the world does not appear as it is. Imagine, but actually, it cannot, it's beyond expectation. The truth is the truth of each word of the enlightenment, because of he had enlightened the truth. That's why he can talk about the truth of what is there, deeper and deeper and deeper, very subtle, because now, if it appears as it is, imagine only one at a time. Can it be something? Can it be someone? And what is there is known. That which experiences cannot be taken for anything at all, anyone at all. And that which is experienced, nobody can change no word to just describe the way it is, as whether it's soft or hard, how, what degree, and so on. It doesn't need any word because it's there no word. At moment of thinking about word, it's not the moment of experiencing an object as a reality. At moment of thinking what is true, thinking is true, or what is thought is true. It's the hidden world, dreaming world, about that which is sunyata, completely gone, never to arise again. Is that true? So each moment of life living on and on with ignorance, attachment, clinging or doubt or whatever is there in life, unexpectedly, each moment unknown, what would be the next? It can't be that moment. And then birth after death again, who knows? And this is anatta, not anyone or anything, not under any control by the idea I can do. What is there at moment of thinking, of saying, or speak out, I can do? What is the truth? And what is the truth? I cannot do. Each moment is so true but it's hidden because of ignorance and the rapidity of the arising and falling away of what is there now, unknown, until right understanding begin to understand. So the person who has right understanding and the person who doesn't have right understanding at all. Is that true?
Yes, Tanajan, this is true. This is true. Everything, you know.
So we don't mind what would be because of the understanding of the truth. It's not me and not anyone control, and it's gone. Just live easily with understanding in any situation when right understanding is there. Because no I at that moment, and who can control that moment? Who can stop its arising and its falling away? Impossible. Understand the truth as it is. And what is there is gone instantly, completely, absolutely, ultimately, never to arise again. Is that true? So begin to understand the moment, what is the truth of that moment, the absolute truth. That's why we listen to understand. That's all. And our Dhamma works in its own way. Right understanding and wrong understanding has different functions. They are there now and next and next and next, on and on and on, non-stop by conditions. And this moment of understanding is a condition for what would arise one day. Seeing again, and seeing again with some understanding or no understanding at all.
It seems that there's more notice of the subtlety of self, that I did this, I did that. And it's well, I guess knowing, I'm sure there's many more subtle knowing of the presence of self, or the idea of self, even if there's something we believe was kusala dana, or listening, not necessarily listening attentively, but yet let's use dana as the example. It doesn't take long to see that it's my dana. It just arises so quickly, so often, and more subtle. Sometimes it screams at you, but it's more, I'm sure it's present. It arises much more often than we can even know.
That is right understanding and the beginning to understand the truth. It's so very subtle because what is seen now, and there are so many things that is not known.
I think the question is whether it's the Mai of wrong view, or the Mai of conceit, or the Mai of attachment.
That's true. That could be any of them.
So they can only be known as different by their respective characteristics.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always found conceit to be
in a sense, the idea of Mai is stronger with conceit than maybe with wrong view, as it presents, I mean, but certainly with conceit, there's a lot of I and my thinking.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Very
for sure.
strong and very noticeable.
Mhm. Yeah, it may be more.
And when we do something good, it could well just be conceit, because thinking that you've done a good job, thinking being pleased with oneself
Good for me.
is conceit, plain and simple.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's right, because it wouldn't require wrong view to think that, would it?
Quite true.
And Sarah, you were saying something recently on these discussions about, I don't know, it seemed to be related to not wearing, I don't know what you related it to, but even this thought of, oh, he's not wearing a mask, or he or she, I don't know what, is not talking loud enough, something like that. Can you talk about that a bit, the conceit involved there?
Because behind it is the idea that in that situation, I would wear a mask, or if I was speaking now, it would be clearer when we're saying, oh, he's not speaking clearly enough. Behind it is the idea about me. So conceit can come in so easily, like in your example of giving, as you say, straight away, oh, my giving, or yes, as Jonathan said, oh, well done, I've given. So moments of conceit all the time, or their background setting isn't so good, can easily be conceit at those moments.
Yeah.
So because the idea of I is behind it for me, yes.
The idea of comparison is implicit, yeah.
It's implicit in it, even though it's not presented by way of a comparison, or that question could have been expressed more clearly. Behind it is the idea that if I were expressing it, it would be clearer.
I could do a better job. Yeah.
Yes, it's there all the time. And I was going to add to Lucas's points about when he asked if it's wrong to wish to understand or to wish to be aware. Well, it's so natural, just wishing for lots of things, wishing to be aware, wishing to understand, wishing not to have conceit. So it's natural, but good to know that it is clinging. It is clinging at those moments. So it's a kusala, wishing for anything, wanting something for oneself. So it's a kusala, but it's conditioned to be that way, but better to know it. And also about the forgetfulness. We may think, oh, it's I who am forgetful, but it's just common dhammas. Like now, ignorance is there most of the time after seeing and hearing, and the other three kitas. And then there is ignorance, forgetting about what is true, what is real. So most of the day there is ignorance, there is forgetfulness, not my forgetfulness that is something special just when I listen to music. It's like that for everyone, even in the middle of a Dhamma discussion. Even when reading a sutta, most of the time there is forgetfulness, no understanding at all. So it's just how life is. Better to know it. Like Anne was saying, more and more appreciation of the subtleness of the clinging to self, clinging the mana. It's just how it is. So this is the value of understanding more and more, seeing the truth, the ugly truth, what it is.
Right. More frequent.
And
go ahead, Jonathan.
And sorry, you go ahead, Anne.
No, I didn't. My comment was very short. The frequency.
Okay.
Driving.
I was also going to add to something Lucas had raised. I heard him ask, I think, whether the craving or the wanting associated with wanting understanding is the same as the craving or wanting associated with wanting material things. And I think the short answer is it's the same reality, but it's accompanied by different mental factors. But the actual attachment and wanting is always the same, regardless of what the object of attachment is. And it's the same with dosa, because the dosa mental factor covers everything from mild irritation to strong dislike and also fear. And these are things that we think of as being different realities. But in fact, they are, the dosa aspect is the same for each and every one of them. That is not wanting to be associated with whatever the object is.
It's that wanting that brings the dosa, like I think last time we discussed about wanting more kusala and less akusala. It's the same as wanting to understand, wanting anything. And then if there's no understanding, or there isn't more kusala, or there's more akusala, more forgetfulness, there's disappointment and depression about it. But the problem always comes back to the clinging to having this and that for oneself, no matter whether it's understanding or something we think that is worthy or anything else, it's still just clinging. But that's how it is. Better to know it for what it is. And it doesn't last. It's gone. Sunyata, as the Ajahn said, nothing lasts at all.
And the example you gave, I think, falls under the general heading of judging others, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yep, I agree.
the point is that, as Sarah mentioned, behind that is applying one's own values to another person.
Yeah.
And that is why conceit is involved, because there is the thinking of the waving of of one's own banner in the sense of seeing the world in terms of those values that one holds.
That makes good sense. Thank you.
The reason, Lucas, also I asked if you wanted to ask anything more about the Vitakka Santana Sutta, because something you wrote to me on DSG was about being more one-pointed and more choosing in a thought process.
Oh yeah, no, this was about the matikas to the, I think, to the Datukata, you know. Was different
Okay.
topic about
A different topic, okay.
yeah, because there was the seven universal that was like a adimoksha instead of one, and was chitam used, you know. That's the different topic, but doesn't matter, you know. Now just yeah.
But the idea that there is
It's also not easy. I read the commentary, and you know,
yes.
it's something for further thinking, I think.
But the main point was, no matter what it said, is actually there can never be any choosing, because no one there, no one to choose at all.
Yeah, it happens on its own. Objects changes.
So if there's the idea that by being more one-pointed or having more of this or that, there will be more choosing, it's not. That's the wrong path, moving further and further away from the understanding of whatever is conditioned is not self. And there is one-pointedness, ekagata, cetasika at each moment. So it's not a matter of being more one-pointed, because it's conditioned already to experience the one object at each moment. So whatever the reality being experienced, no matter it's kusala or akusala or jhana or forgetfulness. It's not under anyone's choice at all. It's just that which is conditioned and gone instantly. So each one is dukkha. No matter the calm, no matter the kusala, each one is dukkha and gone forever, never to return.
Yes, thank you, Sarah, for your comment. Thanks. I agree 100%. You know.
I think it's like Anne said, what the more and more layers of self can become apparent, and it can be there even when reading a sutta or having an idea. If there was more kusala, it would be easier, or more this or more that, or one should this or one should that. But
yeah. But Sarah,
there's
here comes the term gochara, you know, like the pasture for cows. It's like something, I think, like domain or object of the cheetahs, you know. So you say, I think if we read more suttas, then it's more gochara to be, you know, like more for wholesome than like drinking or whatever else that is a kusala, you know.
I think it depends on the understanding, because
Yeah, of course,
as we all know, that one can read all the suttas with wrong understanding, with the idea
for
of
sure,
I
it
and
doesn't
what
depend on
I
self.
should do. Yes. So the gochara is the reality now, visible object, the seeing, the object, which is suitable object for understanding, to understand at this very moment. So it depends on whether there has been the considering, the careful considering about what life is at this moment, the seeing now, hearing now, as to whether that the seeing now or the hearing will be the gochara of understanding. And someone may have read very little and another may have read a lot, but it depends on the careful considering about the truth about the reality in life that appears now.
There is also a condition, Aramanupanisaipachaya or something like that. So that means the object can be accumulated too, isn't it? Like object for right understanding or for thinking.
So for example, if the visible object is commonly or frequently the object of understanding, it can be the Aramanupanisya, the object which is, there is accumulated understanding to understand that particular object, the object of that is frequently understood, that is well understood. So whatever understanding arises, it is by the accumulated development of understanding, not by the wishing or the trying or how much one is reading or how many hours one spends in Zooms or anything else. It's the understanding itself at this very moment, no matter what the words are that are used. Anyway, thanks for bringing up many good points for discussion, Lucas. Always good to see you here.
Yeah, thank you too.
Azita, I don't know if you are participating because you're a grey blank today, but at the end of the discussion last week, you asked about patience, and we were talking about everyday patience and patience reality, and Ajahn was talking about adhitthana parami and virya kata and the conditions to think about this and the different accumulations. And we said we would discuss more about it this time. I don't know if you're there and would like to continue on or not. maybe not.
Well, I'd be happy to have it continued, but I don't have a specific question.
At the very end, because I just have a note that Ajahn was talking about virya kata, and thinking about the conditions to think about this and that. And it depends on the accumulations now, what we think about, whether we think about Armanupanisya or about the temperature of the water or about anything. And this was also being related to patience and the parami and everyday ideas of patience. So maybe I just leave it to Ajahn to pick up this topic, and maybe Azita will come in as if they were her points in the first place.
That's why we have to consider each word about each reality. For example, patience. Can this moment be known as it is, just one reality at a time, even at the beginning? We talk about seeing many times, but can seeing be the object of understanding, just only seeing itself? Possible or not possible? Because Buddha had realized the truth of all the kinds of Dhamma. So when seeing is there now, it can be directly known as no one. Otherwise, when it's not known yet, it is I all the time. That's why there are many levels of understanding before there can be the moment of realizing the truth of what is there, which is so true. Is that not patient? The moment of being patient. How long will it be? Moment of attending to just that which is there, that it is suitable for understanding because it's there. But it's not yet the object of direct understanding. So it takes quite a long time because no one can make it arise to attend to the characteristic of that reality with a little more understanding that it's not yet the moment of realizing the truth of that. But it can be, because many Arahata and Arya had realized in the time of Buddha, and from then on, when Panya is ready. So that's why that is the meaning of patience, the reality of patience, not only the word. What is so hard to get, to understand? If there is no patience, it cannot be understood, even right now. That's why understanding the subtlety of all kinds of Dhamma, even if there is not known, like mana and chanda and so on, but each one is there when it's conditioned to arise, but it depends on whether it is the object of understanding or not. Well, it does not appear right now, right? Like seeing. There must be virya or no virya. Who knows? Seeing is conditioned by karma, so it doesn't need virya cetasika at all. That's why learning just about the truth more and more, that's the way to let go doubt or ignorance about it. And this is the middle path, or it is the Ariya Satya, the fourth one. See, now it's not known, it's so subtle that understanding just a little bit of what is there can condition moment of understanding the truth little by little of the characteristic which is no self, not just the word. That's why before there can be moment of awareness with right understanding of a characteristic of reality right now, it takes time. There must be virya at moment of listening, considering, and no matter in what situation, there can be moment of being aware with understanding of that which appears, and especially because it's there by conditions, and that takes time to understand that it cannot be done, it cannot be by any way to understand it, only understand it little by little, no expectation. When we're understanding strong enough to realize the truth, that is great patience too. That's why it is parami, because it's panya, which understand the subtlety of the path right now. Any moment of understanding is accumulated to be conditioned for the moment of understanding the object right now by different level, different quality, whether it's strong enough or not strong enough yet. So now it's just know that what is there. It's the object of understanding when time comes by conditions. Viriya, parami, kanti, parami is there. Not any other moment. That's why I have confidence of the truth of the subtlety of all kinds of Dhamma, that without realizing the truth one at a time, it's impossible to let go the combination of that which is there together as something. And this is parami too. Without a moment of understanding, little by little, how can there be the very strong and very sharp understanding of that which is now as it is? So whatever we have heard is there now, when it's there to be known. While the other is there too, but it's not known one by one at all. When mana is not there, can there be the understanding of mana? But when mana is there, no word, but no understanding of mana as just not me or not anything at all. It's not there yet until it's there appear as just itself, as that, different from lopa or ditthi. Each one is there. It depends on conditions, whether it is the object of understanding or not yet. That is the subtlety of all dhammas, just arise and falls away instantly all the time. Only panya can begin to understand little by little what is what, until it appears to direct understanding. That's why no doubt about what's meant by direct awareness and understanding how much panya is there, more or less, from moment to moment. And this is Katha Vatu too. For Satya, for Virya, for Kanti, for Adhidana. To
Yes, I think that there's more understanding how they have to develop together, like you say, without a lot of patience. There's always the wishing, which hinders the development of understanding. So the kanti, the virya, very important. And when there is more patience and understanding, there's more adhitthana, parami, more confidence, nothing to be done, no one to do anything. The truth is just as it is, no matter how much forgetfulness, no matter how much akusala. It's just how it is conditioned, and understanding can develop. And so however one's thinking, whatever kusala or akusala, no matter one's thinking about the computer or about this or that. It's all by conditions, and understanding can develop anytime, any place, any reality. So they all have to support each other. And I think the point that we were discussing also with Azita last time was how the patience that develops with understanding is very different to the everyday or conventional ideas of patience, because it has nothing to do with the outward appearance or the situation. One may be using the computer or listening to music like Lucas described, but at the moments of understanding of what is there, the clinging that is there, the forgetfulness, there is patience at those moments when there is understanding. So it's not a matter of changing the situation or thinking one shouldn't listen to music or one should open the sutta, but understanding just what is there at that very moment.
So, Sarah, what you're saying is that when we think about changing the situations, actually there's no patience.
Exactly. No patience and no confidence and no satya parami at that moment, because it's the idea of I should do something else, or this isn't suitable to be understood now. So it's forgetting about what appears at this very moment to be known. Thinking, having the idea that another time, another place, another situation would be more suitable, instead of just understanding and being patient with just what is conditioned at this very moment.
I don't want to change the subject if anyone wants to speak further on that, but I'd like to go back to the question that Anne raised and ask Ajahn to speak a little to that, because I think it's an interesting subject. The eye of being pleased with oneself, which is presumably the eye of conceit, and the eye of wrong view, how they are to be known as different. Is there, could you say something about that, please, Ajahn?
Yes, because reality arises and falls away by conditions so very rapidly that without considering, there cannot be the understanding of that which is there, whether it is attachment or whether it is mana or whether it is strong understanding. But if it's strong enough to be known, like thinking that in order to understand the truth, one has to do this and that, that is Ditti, Michantiti, wrong understanding, Silavata Pramasa. And at that very moment, even thinking is not self, it's not known yet. That's why understanding in the beginning, not very subtle yet. That's why just whatever is there and their conditions to understand it by hearing or considering is different moment from the moment when it's there, understanding the truth. That's why even though there is wrong understanding, Titi, I with Titi, it's not known, it does not appear, but it's there by way of ashwa, see, that can be realized that even just sit, no idea at all, the I is there. And it depends on whether it is clinging to the being or clinging to deity, because they arise and fall away in split seconds, one by one, who knows the difference. But it can be known like now. It seems like we see a doll, table, a chair. at once. So how can it be known when and what is moment of ditti with attachment or mana with attachment? Just one reality can be known at a time. That's why when there is wrong understanding, it is known. While the other moment with mana or kamasava cannot be known at all, just one at a time. That's why it's not a matter of trying to pinpoint because it's gone. But the most important thing that no matter it is mana, no matter it is sthiti, no matter it is lopa, they are only the reality which can experience an object in different manners, different characteristics, different function, that's all. And to let go, it does mean that let go just by reading and considering, because even that moment, it's moment of I with lopa, or when it's wrong, different ideas from the right idea. It is wrong understanding. But wrong understanding cannot understand that it's wrong understanding at all. That's why just understand that which appears in the very beginning, like now. What is it? Seeing a doll, see, with attachment, like it very much, no idea about it, take it for whatever it is, Tanudidi all the time, but attachment is there as I like it. So at that moment, the moment of attachment, lopa, is I like it. And when someone treats us, then the other thing that it's so bad, but at that moment, whether mana arises or not, or even there's no one idea about us, but the idea of I understand, I know is there. That's why mana has to be eradicated by arahata, because it's so very subtle when it's there. Right understanding is not there, but the characteristic of mana is there, different from moment which has clinging or titi, because even there are many realities there together, but mana appear to be known that it's not like titi, it's not like attachment, it's a kind of being important at that very moment, and so on. That's why just learn to understand what is there in life to be known, not try to pinpoint now, but when it's there, it shows up, and there can be a little understanding of the characteristic which is taken for I. It's so very important into no I at all. It's only a reality which has such characteristic and function, performs its function. That's all. That's the way to understand what is there in life, little by little, with the firm confidence of the understanding of no self. And that can condition more understanding of whatever is taught, no matter it's mana, not me, no matter it is sthiti, even it's there, it's not me. So it's so long way to completely, absolutely eradicate the idea of self from whatever is now there in life. Everything in life never be taken for I or thing at all. Sakayatiti and Attanutiti completely gone. So now, if we don't talk about moment of taking the reality for I so strong, it cannot be known, because there can be the Tittasava, Avijjasava, or Pavasava. It's then not clear because it's not just one object be known at a time, but it can be known by hearing and considering that when it's the mana, and when it's the lopa, and when it's the titi. When someone takes the wrong way, try to understand or try to realize, try to have vipassana jnana and so on without the understanding of this moment at all. It's impossible. So only Panya can know about Titta Sava or the I with Titi. And the I when it's not Titi, it's Mana. And the I when it's attachment. I like it very much. I don't mind what it is, wrong or right, but I like it. And when there is the idea of I or not I, but there is attachment, so strong attachment right then. Never mind about anything at all. And that is I with Lopa. And no expectation what will be the object of understanding, the I with Siti or the I with Mana or the I with wrong view.
So in terms of characteristic, because say Mana and Ditti can't be distinguished on the basis of whether there's the idea of I or not. So what is the actual characteristic of that will of sorry, Ajahn?
But there are so many different realities in a moment, from moment to moment. All are different, unknown, until right understanding begin to have confidence and condition to understand. When time comes of only one object at a time, right then, touching, for example, is hard. It can be the moment of beginning to understand that it is reality that's suitable for understanding because it's there to be known. It depends on whether there is understanding of it or not. Whatever in the day, it can be object of understanding, and it has to let go only when it's there, when Panya is strong enough. Otherwise, just little understanding, thinking about it, is not strong enough to let go what is there. Because let go is not at the moment, it's not at the moment. It's the moment of what is appearing. That's why it's so subtle and more subtle and more subtle and more subtle. Otherwise, no way to eradicate attachment and ignorance from the object which is taken for I at all. So from now on, realities are there in life. It depends on whether there is conditions enough to be aware and understand just one reality in the beginning, that it is the object suitable for the development of understanding of the truth, that actually at this moment, no one and nothing at all, just a moment of that which experiences and that hardness which is experienced, to begin to understand, to let go the other things around together, like people now, to attain to just one characteristic and right understand the moment of being aware, because there is the understanding that it is the object that's suitable for understanding to develop. So the right path is so subtle, so it is the fourth one of the Ariya Satya, so very subtle. And that's the meaning of the middle way, because right understanding is there. No matter what is there, right understanding can understand the nature of it and begin to understand that that nature is not anyone at all, anything at all. So natural. Otherwise, it's not Panya, which is keen to understand what is there, which is hidden from life to life, that it can be known when it appears. That's why it's great patience with virya to consider carefully, to understand levels by levels by levels, go down deeper and deeper and deeper to understand what's meant by the absolute truth and one reality at a time, and the nimitta of what is there as a reality, one reality, and nimitta of that together, which is taken for thing with different shape and form. If there is no understanding of the subtlety of Dhamma, one will go wrong for sure, because of wrong understanding that it's not subtle at all. It's just nama, it's just rupa, but it's only the word. What is nama? It has to be now to be known. Seeing, the characteristic of a reality which experiences only that which is seen. See, no eye can be there at all, because it is conditioned to arise just to see. Only once in samsara, never arise again. The other moment is another reality, the other moment of seeing, not the same as the last one, not the one that has gone arise again. And this is the path. See, no one knows. If one tries so hard to understand, to go to some place, it's not the path at all. But the path is understanding sammatiti, that it can condition with taka, sammasankappa, to understand what is the object and what is not the object of understanding. For example, thinking around on and on about shape and form. Can that be the path leading to understand the truth right now? That's why even sammasankappa has to be with titi, right understanding, sammatiti too. Having understanding the subtlety of Dhamma will condition this careful considering about what is there as it is, wisely, to understand what is true and what is not true, what is right and what is not right. What can be the object right now, or only thinking about the other thing instead, postpone on and on, delay the understanding from this moment. One will not be careless if there's the understanding of the subtlety of Dhammas. So subtle that it takes quite a long, long time, or eons and eons and eons. It doesn't matter as long as it has to understand the truth or whatever is there in life from moment to moment too. Unexpectedly too. Firm confidence of no one, only conditions, anatta. All dhammas are anatta. Anytime, any moment, no one and no thing at all.
Ajahn, the Sotapanna still can still think I'm important, but he cannot take anything for self, for even. So I'm not really clear. I'm not really sure I can follow the meaning of the difference between mana and ditti as thinking I'm important, but without taking it for self, without thinking that it's not, without thinking that it belongs to me.
In the beginning, there cannot be the moment of understanding the difference, the subtle difference between any reality, this and that. But at moment when it's strong enough, in the day, it can be known that it's attachment so strong. I like it very much. It's so pleasant. Or the moment when one feels mana, no matter high or low, superior or inferior. Is it there sometimes in life? It's taken for I all the time. But when hearing about the truth, that actually it's only a characteristic which is conditioned to arise to be only that way, reality. No one can change, beginning to understand it actually. It's just a reality conditioned by many, many conditions to be such. Begin to let go I from that moment. It's not I. At moment of seeing, at moment of smana, at moment of lopa, at moment of anger, and so on. Whatever is so natural, very normal in life, all are dhammas. And if it's not known, how can there be the letting go of the idea of self? Because it's there, the basic, the base for everything, for mana too, for ditti too, ignorance and attachment. But it does not appear as attachment just right now. We learn that it's there at the moment of looking at something and ignorance about the truth, it's not there anymore. Even just want to see, just to see, no matter seeing what, there is the idea of attachment to see something, it doesn't matter, see, clinging to the seeing. And when mana is there in the day, attachment is there with mana. But mana appears, not attachment appear. Ignorance is there, but ignorance does not appear. Only the reality, which is mana, the importance of I is there, no matter superior or inferior. See, it's time to understand because we have learned about mana. But when mana is there, no understanding of it, no understanding of it yet. But when time comes, hearing more, considering more, understanding what is there by the teachings, when there's the understanding of no me, no I, it's just a reality, there can be a more understanding of the truth because the moment which is there, as Sanya remembers, it's not me, there's no one at all. So we are now talking about realities, which are realities, and it can be known when it appears, but when it's so very weak, it doesn't appear yet. Who knows that at that moment, there is mana, I have mana, that person, this person, and I, and so on. That's why learning to understand the truth is pariyatti, sutta maya yana. It doesn't mean that no understanding of the reality, but the teachings, the truth is about the truth of what is there at any moment. And that is the understanding of the reality, is sutta maya panya, the wisdom which is accomplished by sutta, listening and considering, to know that it's not yet the satipatthana, or even it's satipatthana, it's not yet vipassana, and even it's vipassana, it is just the beginning of vipassana. That's why suttamaya panya, chintamaya panya, pavanamaya panya, are there, little by little, forming up the moment of understanding according to the accumulation, to the degree of accumulation. If mana does not appear, no matter one tries, it's not there anymore because it hasn't showed up yet. But even it's there, without understanding, it's me. And no idea about that is attachment to taking that object as I have mana, or no word about mana, but it's there performing its function. But when there's the understanding of different characteristics in a day of different realities, mana is a reality different from other reality. And it can be known when it's there. And absolutely, in the absolute sense, letting go is the moment of when it's there.
In the moment of thinking, I have my mana is the moment of. It's already the moment of wrong view, and it's so quickly changing. The realities are changing so quickly that.
And only Panya which knows. Panya is right understanding. It's not other reality. And it's conditioned stage by stage, little by little. Understanding what is said now and what about long time ago when one just hear about the truth. It develops by itself in its own way, no one there at all. And when it develops more, the understanding of what is there now, a little bit more, unknowingly. And when there's an idea, I know a little more, the I is there too. That's why it has to be so truthful to the truth. How much understanding of that which is now appearing. That is why it's considering that it's not yet the moment of letting go of the idea of self, but it's begin to understand the truth. What is what in the beginning. And clings to everything, all 5 khandas in terms of khanda. And now is the Virya and Kanti.
Tanajanka, just listening to you talk there about Ditti, my understanding is that Ditti is the fixed, firm, false belief that there really is a person. Now, of course, that can be very strong and quite gross. But Ditti, it would seem to me, can also be very subtle. Can you perhaps give some examples of Ditti when there is some understanding of the path and there is the understanding also that there is not really anybody who can develop the path, but the more careful consideration of Dhamma has helped a person to understand that. But it still seems to me that that Ditti can be very subtle sometimes. Can you give some examples of that aspect of the subtleness of Ditti, Tanajanka?
Yeah. Who's speaking?
Sundara Cup.
Not Dhamma.
I thought it was, I was wondering if was what question it really was, but conventionally speaking, it's, yes, it's Sundara, but yes, it's Dhamma. It must be Dhamma, Tanajan. There's no question. Well, I was going to say there's no question about that. It must be Dhamma. However, it still seems to me that ditti can be quite elusive and quite subtle. And I don't really believe that it's truly that it's me, that's Sundara here. It's just, that's
Even
convenient.
you don't say it's you already in mind.
Yes, all right. Probably true, Tanajan. Probably true.
So see, ignorance not far away at all. Dhamma is not far away, so close, very close, because it's at moment of seeing. Now, I see. As long as there's no understanding the truth of seeing, there must be ignorance and no one. So it's me. Asura.
Well, yes, the asava. So you're saying it's the asava ditti at that particular moment, and you're saying that can be an example of, because as you said, Tanajan, that ignorance can be quite close. That can be a subtle example of ditti. It's me asking the question, and I truly believe, I believe that at some level that it's me here, not just utter ditti, but the subtle aspect of dittasava. Is that what you're saying, Tanajan Cup?
Because you see that if no one talk about asava, who knows that it's there already? For example, now there's no thinking appearing yet, but it's there. Even there's no seeing, just what is there as it is not known, as it is that which experiencing, that which is unknown, ignorant of the truth. So is there someone or something or who at that moment? It's you, not the other, right? So Tidasava is there. Bhavasava is there. Avitasava is there.
As you said, Ajahn, if the Buddha didn't explain this, then it might be tempting to assume after a certain time that there was no more sense of I or wrong view or attachment of certain kinds. So the knowing about the asavas is very helpful. But in terms of what can be the object of awareness and understanding at a given moment, by definition, what is an asava does not appear, so it cannot be object of understanding at that moment. So this is, I think, in an answer to Sundara's question about ever more subtle levels of the defilements. They are there, but they cannot be understood. They do not, or rather they do not appear. As understanding, of course, is developed, and what was previously an asava may become apparent, may appear, and so be the object of awareness and understanding. But to keep in mind that it's not, the development of the path is not about trying to see the subtle levels of defilement, but just about having a better understanding of what appears at the present moment and can be known.
And when there's the understanding of the truth, less aswa, right?
Yes, Ajahn.
No need to try to lessen it, but understanding works its way.
Yes.
For example, suppose now nothing appears at all. Aswa is there, right?
Yes, Ajahn.
Not known that there is I, even nothing is there at all, but I is there.
Assumed. Yes.
Not try to experience it, but understanding it is the only way to let go ignorance, no matter it is aswa, anusya, and so on. Otherwise, how can it get it?
I think it's not difficult to accept that there are very subtle levels of defilements all the time arising. They just don't appear and can't be known.
And this is the understanding, the subtlety of all kinds of reality. Otherwise, when one doesn't think, one doesn't understand that it's so subtle, there's carelessness, not understanding.
But yes, but these subtle defilements that don't appear cannot be the object of inquiry or understanding.
But
time.
From understanding asma, it begins to understand the more subtle of what is there now. And that is right understanding only to understand the truth, as whatever is there is so very subtle, or the right understanding begins to dig up the truth little by little until it can directly experience the truth of this moment.
Yes, Ajahn, I think as you said earlier, as understanding is developed, then what was previously an asava and not appearing does appear and can be the object of understanding. But there's no knowing when or how that will happen. It just happens as a necessary part of the development of understanding what is appearing now at the present moment.
And that is the path, sammatiti, right understanding, understanding develops little by little. And this is the path, the only path to realize the truth.
I think we can continue this. Yes, I think we can continue this topic next week as well.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.